Have you ever wondered if there's a secret recipe for making something go viral? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We've got our hands on a script for a kids' science video that was built from the ground up to be a massive hit, and we're going to deconstruct it piece by piece.
Okay, let's just start with this one phrase because it tells you everything. Viral size satisfaction unlocked. It's not just a catchy tagline, right? It's basically a promise. It's mashing up the language of internet trends with this feeling of deep satisfaction, setting the whole tone for what's about to come.
And that experience kicks off with the first course in our little recipe here, the appetizer. This is that all-important hook, and it's been engineered to grab a kid's attention in the first few seconds and just not let go.
Now, what's so clever here is that it's not just one thing. It's like this full-on sensory assault in the best way possible. You've got these punchy sounds, pump, whoosh, grow. You have this very specific ASMR hyped tone. And then there's the promise of super satisfying slow-mo visuals. It's layering all of these things together to create this magnetic pull from the very beginning.
So you see, the key isn't really to teach in a traditional sense. The main goal here is to create a feeling. By using words like ASMR and satisfying, they're tapping right into this massive online video culture that kids already know and, frankly, are kind of obsessed with.
All right, let's get to the main course. Once you're hooked, the script has to hold your attention. And the way it does that is by taking a pretty simple science experiment and turning it into this huge, dramatic event.
I mean, on the surface, these 5 steps look pretty basic, right? Load, pump, reveal. But the genius isn't in what they're doing. Oh no. It's all about how they frame every single one of these actions to build up as much suspense and excitement as possible. So, take step 1. It's not, put the candy in the jar. It's load the candy victims. You see what they did there? With just a couple of words, they've created a mini story. These little gummies are now characters, and suddenly you're invested. You want to see what happens to them.
And then you get to the climax. Step 3 isn't just an observation, it's the monster size reveal. This is straight out of the entertainment playbook. It's the big payoff, the grand finale of a magic trick, and it's designed to give you this jolt of pure amazement.
What's really wild is that it even borrows ideas from video games. Step 2 is your basic move, pump the vacuum. But then step 4 is the level up. You get to add pro-inflation twists. It's a brilliant move because it makes you want to try it yourself, to experiment and see how big you can get the candy to grow. It's all about that replayability.
Okay, so we've got a killer hook, we've got a method that's pure entertainment, but wait, isn't this supposed to be a science video? What about the actual learning? Well, that brings us to the secret ingredient, how the science itself is packaged to be just as satisfying as everything else.
And here it is. This one sentence is basically the entire science lesson. They call it the Grow Why. It's a super simple cause and effect story. Lower the pressure outside, the air inside pushes out, and boom, it gets huge. It's easy to get, easy to remember, and easy to tell your friends. Now, let's just compare that for a second to the actual scientific principle at work here, which is Boyle's Law. The script actually mentions the name, but it is smart enough to steer clear of this, the technical textbook definition. The real art isn't about being perfectly precise. It's about the translation.
And think about it. The goal here isn't to create the next generation of physicists. The script itself calls the explanation a satisfying science puff. How great is that? The whole point is to give the viewer that aha moment, that little spark of understanding that feels just as good as watching the visuals. The learning itself becomes satisfying.
But we're not done yet. The experience can't just end when the experiment is over. So for the final course in our viral recipe, we have dessert. A carefully crafted ending designed to build a community and keep people coming back for seconds.
Yeah, this is so much more than your standard like and subscribe. This is a 5-pronged attack on every engagement metric you can think of. They ask you to comment, to create your own video and tag them, to like, to subscribe, and to hit the notification bell. They're leaving absolutely no stone unturned to please that algorithm. And it all ends with this absolutely masterful line. It's a direct command, pump one now. But it does something else too. It gives the viewer a cool new identity. You're not just a kid watching a video anymore. You're a size sorcerer. It makes you feel powerful and turns watching into an invitation to join the club.
So let's step back. After taking apart this whole script, what's the final recipe card look like? What really is the formula for making viral educational content for kids today? Well, here it is, laid out for us. It's a 4-part formula. First, you need that sensory hook to just grab them. Then, you use a gamified method to make it interactive and fun to do again. Third, you serve up some satisfying science that gives them that great aha feeling. And finally, you hit them with a community call to action to build a loyal fan base.
Honestly, this script is just a masterclass in engagement. It shows how incredibly effective this formula can be. But it does leave us with a pretty big question to chew on. When we get this good at engineering education to feel just like entertainment, what does that mean for the future of learning itself? Something to think about.